Hello, Assalamualaikum. Today we are from Group 7 are going to present our proposal Support to Flood Recovery of Selangor. This presentation is prepared and presented by my group members Nuralia Farhanah, Alif Insan, Amir Hamzah, Luqman Hakim, Nurdini and me myself Sharifah Nurainaa. I'll start the presentation with background and rationale. Support to Flood Recovery of Selangor is a project of giving access to basic needs and necessities and livelihoods that will make the repair and rebuild flood damage in the state of Selangor easier and effective by involving two logistics activities. The first one is warehousing and second, transportation. This project is inspired by the tragedy of tropical depression in Peninsular Malaysia's eastern coast happened in December 2021. The devastating floods will surely affect people mainly in the districts, which would cause severe damage to livelihood, infrastructure and other assets. The combined losses of the flood towards victims and affected areas can be hundreds of thousands of ringgit or even more. In 28 January 2022, the government of Malaysia stated in their report that the floods have devastated much of Malaysia in recent weeks, causing an estimated 6.1 billion ringgit in overall losses. There are also more than 40,000 people who had to be evacuated as a result of the damage or flooding that affected thousands of dwellings. Some had severe damages on tools and equipment. Homes, infrastructure, schools, hospitals, private facilities, farms and crops were destroyed, which negatively impacted local agriculture, public services and the local economy. Businesses in the area experienced severe damage to their stock and equipment and were deemed to be in danger. This project will take place during and just after the floods started the design of an early recovery intervention that intends to help the victims normalize and stabilize their access to basic necessities, which including food, blankets, medications, and basic equipment and cleaning tools. By setting up a warehouse close to the localities and providing transportation for the movement of the distribution, this project proposal, which was created as a close complement to other ongoing recovery interventions, seek to address some of the early recovery and immediate prevention needs.
Moving on to the next part, which is the description of this project, which we have three objectives for this project. The first one is minimize costs. To minimize the costs used in the process of humanitarian supply chain by setting up a warehouse for storing emergency relief items, as it has been proven to improve overall responsiveness, efficiency and effectiveness that would respond to sudden onset disasters. The second one is cooperation and coordination. To encourage cooperation and coordination between a wide number of governmental and non-governmental groups operating in the field of crisis management, while also directly assisting in minimizing the time it takes to reach impacted people. The third one is save times, to distribute relief with proper manners at the proper time for the least amount of money and save. What are the purposes and expected outcome for this project? The first one is focusing on enhancing the warehousing and transportation in advocacy projects to facilitate it and both play important roles in an advocacy project. Second one is to help all the victims in the affected area on time with proper manners and safely, so that there would not be any problem to deliver help for them. Also will facilitate and effectively reconstruct flood damage in the state of Selangor, allowing people to get back to their usual life. And the last one is to improve overall responsiveness, efficiency and effectiveness that would respond to sudden onset disaster. It is important to minimize the cost utilization in the process of humanitarian supply chain. The planned activities for this project will involving the governmental and non-governmental organization to help all those flood victims in Selangor area. Also, volunteers will be divided into groups to distribute it by using suitable transportation for the affected area, such as by truck or also by boats.
For public engagement, mostly comes from volunteering activities that help to reduce costs and increase productivity effectively for this project. And also for this project, we expected to collect a sum of money about 500,000 ringgit from public donation domestically. For the benefits of this project, as we can see, humanitarian assistance and aid are material and logistical actions undertaken to help people in need. Humanitarian assistance endeavor to save lives, reduce suffering, and ensure that human dignity is protected even during times of crisis.
Project team and principle. For information, a project team is a concept that indicates how the division of individual labor of a specific project is best associated with each other to generate a cumulative impact that is significantly bigger than the overall effect produced by individual components if it is determined. This provides a synopsis of what the project is anticipated to accomplish and how it will be accomplished. The project team gives a recurrent notion to the project team that determines how to perform project activities and whether the team is still on the track. In terms of meaning, a project team is close to the project description, but they are not the same. For information, the project team has 4 basic components that must be followed. The first one is project goals. The second one, benefit. The third one, expectation. And the fourth one is cost. For our team project, firstly, our project purpose is to restore flood victims' access to basic infrastructure and livelihoods in Selangor. Next, our benefits include assisting those in need, saving life, and alleviating the suffering of flood victims. While our expectation is that we will carry out our project in collaboration with governmental and non-governmental organizations to ensure its success. And finally, for our courses, we will establish the warehouse site and give the best management to handle and care for the donation item, as well as the best transportation to volunteers to go to the flood affected districts in Selangor, particularly in Hulangat and Shah Alam.
For target participants, public and student as volunteers, public community for fundraising, including governmental and non-governmental organizations, because we expect considerable contributions. A huge number of students might help our initiative succeed. We would try to enlist the whole target audience as volunteers. Individuals who participated will get a certificate of gratitude and transportation to the food bank distribution site. To recruit enough workers, we need to make this project as appealing as possible. Focusing on students is one of the best ways for a younger generation to provide energy and concern to a needy community. In terms of environment, we prioritize safety. Our initiative won't succeed without everyone's safety, so we will focus 100% on a problem-free project. Our major warehousing proposal is safe. We choose a site for emergency supplies based on building architecture, shelf height, and cleanliness. Many eyes will be safer since our community rooms are near homes. Environmental safety supports the project, so does for the volunteer safety. We also brought first aid trained medic students as a backup plan. We concerned about the ecology during the activities. Even if our idea primarily benefits human, we promise that it won't hurt or pollute the environment. We will keep our project clean and organized so we can be trusted again if we given a comparable program. About the sustainability, the task at hand would be beneficial not only to the victim but also to the contributors, volunteers, and the teams working on the project. The work will help members plan how the foundation will spend the money in the future. We hope that spreading the word to all networks in or outside the region will get them interested in the future volunteer projects, since we told them about the great experience that can be had in both current and future projects. We put our work online to show how it could be used in the real life. We spread the word about our projects by using real life examples. We know for sure that everyone benefits from what we do, and we think that this level of customization should be kept and improved in the future to help even more people in need.
One of the flood management strategies is a real-time flood monitoring and warning system. The system not only monitors the flood, but it also has some sort of alert or warning device in place to tell people. Flood losses can be decreased by procedures such as monitoring, forecasting, modeling, and water level evaluation. Implementing a monitoring and flood warning system is critical since it demands dependability as well as accurate information. The flood monitoring system contrasts from the flood monitoring and warning system in that it lacks an alerting mechanism. In Malaysia, the government has established a team or agency to monitor and warn about the state keys rivers that are prone to flooding. Authorities also play a vital role in ensuring the safety of flood survivors. Authorities must also assist people in evacuating. Many parties in the flood scenario require assistance to lessen the burden of the flood vulnerable people. Performance indicator. Datuk Isham Ishak, Transport Secretary General, spearhead flood relief operation with ministry personnel volunteering to go down to the ground to give contribution food, generator sets, bed, blanket and other personal care goods to victims as contribution from first Road Transport Department. Renewal fee for JPJ paper loss in flood including driver license, road tax deeds and vehicle ownership certificates are waived when accompanied by verified police report. Flood victims were served food and essential at temporary relief centre in Selangor and Kuantan. Selangor JPJ officer and staff member collaborate with Shah Alam Municipal Council MBSA to supply food and other humanitarian goods to affected victims. Second is from Land Public Transport Agency. 30 volunteers from Land Public Transport Agency were assigned to provide contribution, food and other supply to flood victims in Puchong, Shah Alam and Hulu Langat. Flash funding of RM2,000 has gathered to supply basic food and personal care goods to flood victims in Sri Muda. Next is from KTM Berhad. About 150 flood victims, largely from Kampung Padang Jawa in Shah Alam, were housed at Padang Jawa Station. 112 KTM employees in Batu Tiga, Lorong Gelam, Jala Custom, Jala Aceh, Jala Padang and Port Klang were given emergency supplies. Next is from Marine Department of Malaysia. Wisma Pulau at Port Klang and Maritime Transport Training Institute in Pulau Indah, Selangor provided temporary relief center. Survey boats have been mobilized to aid victims and are to standby to support the activity of the National Disaster Management Agency. Lastly, from Port of Tanjung Pelepas, 15 prime mover drivers were sent for clean-up activity at Port Klang's Northport Terminal, which was hit by flash flood, to guarantee that container and freight movement and the broader logistics supply chains were not disrupted.
That's all from us. Thank you for listening.